Good morning, Renee. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning.
It's really a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much. Um, so, for those watching, I am Robert Burns. I'm with Thompson, communication specialist with our company, and I am speaking with Miss Renee Wells, who's part of our family education program. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And we wanted to talk to you today because we would love to hear your candid opinion about the program and the benefits. Just a little bit of context for those watching. February happens to be Parenting Education Awareness Month, and that's a very important time in general, but especially right now we're observing like the importance of education, parenting education, parental involvement in those things. So from that standpoint, who better to talk to than one of the folks that's going through our program. So Renee, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your background as a parent
Mhm.
and kind of just give us a little bit of that.
Sure. So myself and my husband, we actually have 7 children. They range in age from age 14, and our youngest is actually about to be 1 years old. Um, let's see. I do believe that being active in my children's lives is very important. I am also not naive enough to think that I am their only influence. So I regularly seek out different programs, different mentors that can greatly assist me better connect with my children. I became more aware of that as my older children started getting towards teenage years.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I mean, you've already said quite a bit. I mean, first of all, you got 7 kids between the two of y'all. Okay, awesome. Second, you mentioned something that I hadn't really. We've had a couple of these other conversations, and you said something that was very poignant. You were like, "Well, you're not naive enough to believe that you're the only influence on the kids," and
Mhm.
that is like that is a really, really, really important point. So how does it, and I hope it does, I mean, but how does the program, family education, how does that what's the word? Touch on that. Like does it acknowledge that? Like what kind of skills are you being taught and are you guys practicing?
Yes, we as in my husband and I, we are practicing. So I'll start with the first part of the question. How does the program help with that? So I've taken several of the programs because my children range in age. So one of the classes, which was geared toward closer towards the teenage age group, it
Hmm.
actually helped me pinpoint different strategies that I could use to connect with my teenagers when they're being how can I say this? Um, when they're exploring their identity in the form of an attitude and resistance. So I learned different techniques going through that particular program and different strategies that were actually effective. I'll give you one example. My 14-year-old daughter is very well spoken. I guess the old folks would probably say that it's talking back. But I would prefer that she openly communicate with me and engage in a dialogue as opposed to shutting down. The dilemma that I was having with her is knowing when it is appropriate and when it is not appropriate. So she would talk back. She would give the impression that she was being disrespectful or having an attitude, um, with a tone of sarcasm. One of the strategies that I learned in going through the program was allow her to get it out, ignore it, and then actually compliment an attribute that was noteworthy in the midst of her tantrum or her tidbit, so to speak, which is not something that I had considered before. Prior to becoming aware of that strategy, it was more so, Diamond, I need you to exit the room right now. Mommy needs a minute. I had not considered actually telling her, you know what, I really like that you use your communication skills. And I did that a couple of times, and it actually caught her off guard, which I wasn't expecting. And we were able to move forward in the conversation, no blow up, no argument, no struggle between parent and child. So I found that to be most helpful because it was an annoying thing to happen between my daughter and I.
That is a fantastic example. One of the
Mhm.
things that I'm picking up that I'm hearing is you mentioned the strategy and you learned this strategy from the class. And it's like maybe you had a few strategies before, but you didn't know about this one. So what I'm hearing is like you basically you got another tool out the toolbox you could put in your, you know,
Mhm.
in your belt. In this situation, I could do this, and this might that switch up might throw him or her off in such a way that it's really effective because you got another tool. Like maybe you would use this tool on a different day, but like you got this tool, and this is just something that they're not going to expect. And it
Mhm.
arms you as a parent, you know, to have more strategies you can draw upon. So that's what it sounds like is you're grabbing, um, you're enhancing your toolbox as a parent with a class like this.
Absolutely. That was actually one of my most favorite metaphors. I have a toolbox for just about everything else in life, but I had not really considered um, a toolbox for parenting, which is kind of embarrassing to say, but there really isn't a step-by-step guide for parenting. There are so many different ways that to parent that really are effective. And then what I have learned with all of my children is that it really does vary with my kids' personalities. The strategies that work with my 14-year-old daughter do not work with my 16-year-old son. So I would
Mm.
absolutely say that the metaphor of a toolbox was very helpful.
Yeah, so you're tailoring it to each child as it
Mhm.
should be. Um, you know, what inspired you to, you know, what made you join the program? Like, how did you get involved with it?
So actually, I was a self referral. I was not aware initially that many of the parents are referred into the program. So I was doing a lot of Google searches and internet searches for parenting resources, parenting classes, parenting support groups. And I came across Thompson, which really had all three of those. So I called and became a self referral, got more information about the programs. Once I was made aware that they're tailored to different age groups, got the schedule, I just started the programs.
Oh, that's great. And how long have you been involved with the program now? With family education?
Less than a year. We're probably coming on about a year at this point. I would say
Sometime.
9 months to a year.
That's really great because the reason I asked that is because I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to watch this and they're going to
Uh-huh.
be like, well, I don't know how long the program lasts. I don't know like how long we should wait to expect results. And I mean, you're a living testament. You got 7 kids. You seem to be very, like of the opinion that this has been beneficial for you. You've said it's enhanced your toolbox, and it's less than a year, but it's also several months that you've put in with it. So that's quite some time. So to anybody out there watching, I mean, yeah, I mean that's a good thing. Um, I just have a question more for you is anything else that you would like to say about the program, maybe that I didn't ask specifically that you wanted to say about it? And feel free to be as honest and candid as possible.
Okay. So I do, my husband and I, we do have 7 children. We also have a blended family. The program is really great, but I would like to add that while the information that I received from the program was very helpful, it was a great resource. It was actually the employees, the staff, and the level of transparency and comfortability that actually contributed to me deciding to remain with the program. So it could have been very easy for me to say this particular program, I believe one of them was one day. Another class was about 12 weeks. It would have been very easy to say, okay, I'm done with the 12 weeks. I'm done with the program. Great. And I think I got a certificate at that point. That will be great. But it was the level of courtesy and respect that was demonstrated by the staff for what my family dynamic is that contributed to me deciding to remain with the program. It was the information in what I considered to be like a wraparound service, like a one-stop shop that contributed to that decision. So I will say, had it not been for the respect, courtesy, and transparency that was gifted or demonstrated towards me, I would not have been as successful with the program.
Okay. Wow. That is that we definitely appreciate that because that gives a lot of detail in a way that maybe like a program page just could not. You
Yeah.
know, you're talking about like the experience that you had with
Mhm.
our staff. And that's a testament to, I guess, everybody that works at Thompson, but specifically in the family education programs and we, our staff. Thank you so much. Um, I hope that this is helpful out there, hearing it from you, for anybody else out there who's maybe on the fence or considering or just wants to learn more about the program and like what it works. I mean, how it works. So thank you so much, Renee. We really appreciate your time. We are very pleased to have you continue to be part of the program and anything that we can do further to assist you, give you more, tips, guidance, all of those things. Please consider us and me, myself a resource. So thank you very much for your time. I'm gonna let you go for the day.
Thank you.
And I
I,
wish you a blessed day,
Mr.
okay?
Mr. Robert, I would say one more thing. As
Sure.
far as the staff and my decision to remain, it was most helpful as well that I did not feel judged in interacting with
Mm,
employees or staff or team members, whatever that proper term would be. It is a group setting, so of course there were other parents that were involved in a lot of the classes. We have different parenting styles, different ways of doing things, but whether myself or what I observed from another participant, I did not at any point feel uncomfortable because of a negative connotation as it related to judgment from the staff as it related to how a parent was parenting their child. It was always non-judgmental. It was always supportive and encouraging. Did not
mm,
give a tone of manipulation or threat, which is very helpful because with my background and other things that were shared with the parents, we definitely don't want to be ridiculed for not knowing something. Again, there's no step by step guide to parenting. So if I'm humble enough to participate in the program, I certainly wouldn't want to feel ridiculed or judged in the midst of that process. And I didn't observe that. That wasn't my experience, and that too was helpful.
oh my goodness. I again, we appreciate that type of comment because it's like, you know, when people come into Thompson, there's a certain degree of training that we're putting out there to make sure that we understand, our people, we understand how to deal with our people, how to be empathetic, how to not, like you said, not judge. And there's also the type of person, even outside of training, of like just the right type of person to be doing this type of work. And so when you combine those things, you get experiences like what you're describing. So that is a major compliment to us. And again, shout out to our staff. So that you've clearly had a very good experience. We appreciate you for sharing that. And I will take this back to the team as well, so we can continue to do these types of good things. So we definitely appreciate it, Renee. Anything else that you wanted to add?
No, that pretty much sums up my experience. I have found it to be very helpful. I'm not receiving any incentive for the video. Nothing was promised to me. These are my honest opinions for anyone who is viewing this. And I consider it to be a resource. I would definitely personally recommend it. I am in the process of starting the parent group now that I've completed a good bit of the classes, and I'm just thankful that I could share my opinion and that you guys actually reached out.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And we thank you so much. And you have me as a resource now. So if you need me for anything, please reach out. I will wish you a blessed day. And again, we thank you for your participation in the program. Take care, Renee, okay?
Thank you. You do the same.
All right, bye-bye now.